President Donald Trump suggested Wednesday, October 11, that it may be time to challenge NBC's broadcast licenses after the network aired reports that Secretary of State Rex Tillerson had called Trump a moron and nearly quit the administration after the president advocated a near tenfold increase in the nation's nuclear arsenal. With all of the fake news coming out of NBC and the networks, at what point is it appropriate to challenge their license? Bad for country. Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump, October 11, 2017. Fake it. NBC News made up a story that I wanted a tenfold increase in our U.S. nuclear arsenal. Pure fiction, made up to demean NBC. CNN. Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump, October 11, 2017. Trump disputes the reports, which is fine. They are based on anonymous sources and leaks meant to make Trump look bad. But the President of the United States threatening to shut down an independent press is beyond the pale. Fortunately, experts noted that Trump's threat is mostly hollow because broadcast licenses are issued not to the major networks but to local stations, of which NBC owns 28. Under deregulatory measures that Republicans successfully pushed over the past generation, challenging a license on the grounds of unfair or biased coverage would be very difficult, according to the Los Angeles Times. But the threat alone is chilling and should be condemned across the political spectrum. The founders of our nation said as a cornerstone of our democracy the First Amendment, forever enshrining and protecting freedom of the press, said Gordon Smith, president of the National Association of Broadcasters and a former Republican senator. It is contrary to this fundamental right for any government official to threaten the revocation of an FCC license simply because of a disagreement with the reporting of a journalist. In that vein, here are some key statements about America's free press. See if you can spot which one of these is not like the others. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. First Amendment, U.S. Constitution. It is frankly disgusting. The press is able to write whatever it wants to write and people should want to look into it. President Donald Trump. The only security of all is in a free press. President Thomas Jefferson. Freedom of conscience, of education, of speech, of assembly are among the very fundamentals of democracy, and all of them would be nullified should freedom of the press ever be successfully challenged. President Franklin Roosevelt. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. Benjamin Franklin. Freedom of the press is not just important to democracy, it is democracy. Walter Cronkite. Were it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers, or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate a moment to prefer the latter. President Thomas Jefferson. A nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people. President John Kennedy. An attempt to suppress, censor or intimidate the press just because you don't like what they are reporting is moronic. Tim Morris is an opinions columnist at NOLA.com. The Times Picayune. He can be reached at tmorris@nola.com. Follow him on Twitter at Morris504.